welcome to my YouTube channel. My name is Letitia K. If it is your first time on this channel, you are welcome. If you are a returning subscriber, returning watcher, thank you very much for coming back. But also make sure that you are a returning subscriber, not just a returning watcher. So please do click on that subscribe button. Also, do like this video, do comment, and do share this video. So on today's video, we're talking about the money mistakes that we make in our 20s, or that people make in their 20s, and money mistakes that you need to avoid if you are not 30 yet. Okay, so we do know in our 20s, they're telling us about enjoying life, not to be serious, not to care. It's the best time to enjoy your youth. But what I can tell you is that also be responsible. Enjoy your early 20s responsibly, but be money wise also, because whatever decisions you make financially in your 20s will impact or will influence your life in your 30s. That's possibly when in your late 20s, you'll then be thinking of purchasing a house, purchasing a car, and you're actually struggling because you made bad financial decisions in your 20s because you didn't think about the future. So even in your 20s, enjoy your 20s, but also be responsible and do think about tomorrow or your future. So the following mistakes, money mistakes, are the mistakes that most people make in their 20s and the mistakes to actually avoid or to look out for. So if you are in your 20s, so do listen to this video so that you do not make this mistake. The first mistake that we make in our 20s is not budgeting. It's just spending without having a budget and not knowing your responsibilities and everything that you're actually liable for. And we can also say not planning, because if, let's say, you want to purchase a car, you want to move out of home and you want to go out and rent, and you just see like, oh no, the money I'm getting every month, I can actually go out and rent. And then you realize later that actually having to rent or having to own a car and pay an installment, I'm not surviving with all the things that you take on because you're not planning or because you're not budgeting. So budgeting is very important, so that you do not spend more than what you have, and that you can also know how do you spend your income and how do you distribute it. So it's any mistake that we do make is not budgeting. And when we talk about budgeting, we're not talking about mental budgeting. Take a book and write it down. Write all your expenses, write your income and write all your expenses. And that's how you're going to see that the money that you have, you can afford this, you cannot afford this, that you'll be able to take out things that are unnecessary and you will be able to survive the month and you will not put yourself in debt. Another money mistakes we make in our 20s is impulsive buying. Oh my goodness. Buying unnecessary things and impulsive buying. Those two goes hand in hand. That is why I personally learned that I'm not good with going to the malls and window shopping, because it never ends up being window shopping. I end up actually buying things. So you go to the mall telling yourself, oh, I'm taking myself out, I'm going to the mall. You walk into a shop, you see something you like, you on the spot, you buy it. You do not look at what you have in your account and what's going to happen to your bank balance after you've purchased that thing. You just buy it because you're seeing it and you're liking it right on the spot. Do you understand? And you later realize that I actually don't need this thing that I've actually just purchased. Very, very, very dangerous and a very big mistake we make is impulsive buying and buying unnecessary things, because it basically becomes a waste of money, and also spending money that was supposed to be for something else, and then now you using that money for something else that you did not plan for. So with impulsive buying, my advice would be, do not go to the shops. Might be hard, but don't go to the shops. And this all goes with discipline. You really need to be financially disciplined in order not to make this mistake. So you need to teach yourself to be financially disciplined. Another mini mistake we make in our 20s is not saving. Like I said, in your 20s, they tell us that have fun, and have a good time. You don't have to stress and worry about adult stuff and all of that, but actually you need to worry about adult stuff. You need to teach yourself to save. And this is not only in your 20s. We need to teach the youngsters, the small kids, the boys and the girls that are in primary. We need to teach them to save. Keep a, what do they call it? We used to call it a spar box. I grew up in a colored town, so I'm kind of, some things I only know in Afrikaans. We used to call it a spar box. It's called a piggy box. Yeah, piggy box, a spar box, where small change, you teach your child to put it in there. As a 20-year-old or 20 something, early 20s, late 20s, very important to save. And that's a mistake we make, that we do not save, which is also something that we need to include in our budget. So if you are budgeting, make sure that you include savings. Savings comes in different forms. I know there's banks that have a fixed term 30-day accounts and flexi accounts, saving accounts. We know there's Bitcoin, there's purchasing shares and platforms that you can use to buy shares as a way of saving, but also kind of an investment, a long-term investment. So very important on saving and finding a way that works for you to save money, whether you're saving so that and December you have something, but not just for the long term. We also need to consider emergency. If you have savings, every month from your income, from your salary, or at least saving 20% of your income every month. You do not know what you're saving for. You are saving for a rainy day, or you know what you are saving for. But saving is very important, because with saving, there might come up something, an emergency, something unplanned that is not in your budget or in your monthly budget. But if you know you've got savings, you'll be able to use your savings for that unforeseen situation, unforeseen circumstances, or whatever emergency situation. But if you don't have any savings, then should something come up, you're gonna be in a sticky, stressful situation that you do not want yourself to be in. You'll find yourself taking out loans and having to pay interest, having to loan money from people and having to pay them back, and it's going to be a challenge, having to pay back a loan, all those stuff. And then the moment you have a loan, you realize that, I can't pay back this loan, and now you're in a financial situation and things become hard for you financially because you never saved in the first place. So a mistake we make is not saving. So the advice is to include savings in your monthly budget. Do you get it? You get paid 1,000 Rand, 20 Rand you save. You get paid 10,000 Rand, 200 Rand you save. You can actually save more, but depending on your expenses, make sure there are savings in your budget. Every month you put money away for a rainy day. Another mistake we make is not being afraid of credit. In your 20s, you'll open a clothing account. From a clothing account, they offer you more credit and you use it. And the more credit they give you, the more credit you use. Then from that, you realize, I want a phone contract. I can't get a phone contract. Then you go get a phone contract. Then another a shoe shop, clothing shop, jewelry shop, furniture shop. You just allowed to have credit everywhere, and then you literally take out credit with different shops all over the place. When Anjay, you have credit all over the place. Very big mistake that you can make that can impact almost your whole life, because the moment you take out too much credit and having to pay a lot of installment, more than what you can afford, you are literally going to struggle for a very long time, because you're going to have to pay back all these accounts and also have to live every month, and having your salary, being able to live off your salary, but also have all these accounts that you have to pay. And there's a lot of shops that will literally offer you credit. The more you take, the more credit they give you. The more you take, pay, the more credit they'll increase it. You realize that you have a credit balance of 50,000 rand that they're giving you, and you're like, oh, remember, that's money that's not yours. You have to pay it back. You're wearing that clothes that you took the credit, and that's not your clothes because you have to pay it. You haven't paid it off. And you realize that every month you've got like 1,000 rand, 1,500 rand of credit accounts that you have to pay off, and your budget is not budgeting, it's not balancing because you have all these debt that you have to pay. Oh, and when you take a credit card, you realize that you have all these debt that you have to pay off. And with that mistake of taking out too much credit comes another mistake that we make in our 20s. Not being able to have a good credit score, which impacts us when we need to make big girl purchases or big boy purchases like cars and purchasing houses, because you've got debt. Now you've got a great job. Now you are financially in a better position to make big purchases, but you can't make big purchases because you've got this debt that you've been dragging with you, these accounts that you've been trying to pay off, but you've been struggling because you're trying to pay off your accounts, but you're also just trying to live and get through the month, being able to feed yourself, help your family, build back at home. You've been trying to do all these things, but also dragging all this debt, and it will pull you back. Having debt will literally pull you backwards. You're trying to move forward, but it's pulling you backwards because you have to pay these credit providers. And also dangerous thing, abo machonisa, you also have abo machonisa over here that you're trying to pay and keep up with, and all these loans that you're trying to keep up with. So money mistake to avoid in your 20s is debt. Being over indebted, my goodness. Having credit accounts, it's great to have purchase things on credit, but it's a trap. You trap, don't fall for it, okay? We know we live in tough times. If you are in your 20s right now, or you're about to turn 20, you're still in high school, or you're still in varsity and you're looking forward to working, my goodness, I'm happy for you that you're looking forward to working. You're looking forward to working in the field that you're studying in. That's just great. But I'm going to tell you this thing, that in the times that we're living in, just relying on a salary, on a 9-to-5 job is not enough. So a mistake that you can make in your 20s is thinking that your monthly salary is enough. It is not enough. Me sitting here right now and doing this video is not only because I love doing these videos and talking into my phone camera and posting myself and seeing myself and watching myself and having people watch me. That's not the only thing. It is to have a second income stream, a third, a fourth, a fifth, but I cannot rely on just one income stream. And that's a mistake that we can easily make in our 20s. Make yourself used to not just relying on your salary, on your 9-to-5. Find something else to bring you money. Find something else to generate an income from you. If you are good with your hands, doing braids, doing lashes, makeup artist, anything that you can be good at, being a photographer, having an office job, but being a photographer for weddings on a weekend, that can bring you extra money on top of your 9-to-5 job. Even if you are an engineer, but you know that you are good at taking pictures, you love taking pictures of people, you can do that as a side hustle to help your 9-to-5 or your engineering job. We live in tough times. A mistake that nowadays that people in the 20s can make is literally just looking at one income. There's a lot of people out there that are doing well, and if you ask them, they'll literally tell you that they are doing more than one thing. They don't just rely on their primary job. They've got a lot of income streams. Some people are doing what is this thing of trading. They are traders. Try that if you can, but be smart about it. Don't now go and invest everything and losing a lot of money because you're trying a shortcut or short way of making money. Be smart about it. Very important. Be financially savvy, be financially smart. The times that we live in, you need to be financially smart at a very young age. Already when you go to varsity, even if you are in university, and there's things like teaching online. You can be a full-time student teaching online. For an example, I was working part-time since grade 12. The moment I finished writing my exams, I went and worked at Sea Harvest. You guys are enjoying Sea Harvest fish fingers. I was packing those fish fingers that you are now enjoying with your breakfast. The moment I finished writing my grade 12 exams, I was already working. When I moved from Saldanha Bay to Cape Town, in my first year, I was already working part-time and being a full-time student. I was going to work after my classes, generating money, making an income for myself. Yeah, I was on NSFAS. I didn't get a cent from NSFAS. Kesana. I'm one of those people that were accepted by NSFAS, but I don't know a single cent of NSFAS. NSFAS, even if you call it NSFAS or NSFAS literally just paid for my studies. I know I was supposed to get money, but I never got that money. I don't know where the money went. But when I was looking at my student whatever statement, I could see there's money there, a lot of money, but I never got it. But anyway, it's not about me and my student by NSFAS. What I'm trying to say is that have more than one income stream. If you're looking at just your salary, my darling, you're gonna struggle. You'll always feel that your salary is not enough. You're gonna get a job that you consider as great, and then you're gonna you literally gonna increase your standard, and then you're gonna realize this is not enough. Also very dangerous. Live within your means. Live within your means. Don't have an income that's here, but want to live a life that's here, that requires money that's here, but your income is here, my darling. Very dangerous for yourself. So if you are in your 20s, be smart. Be smart about your finances. Don't live beyond your means. Oh my goodness, my neighbor's car has just started, and then going against in all. But luckily we've come to the end of our video. I hope you did like it. Please do click on the subscribe button. Please do like this video. Also share other money mistakes that we make or people make in their 20s, and I hope this video helps you a lot. Don't forget to budget. Don't spend more than what you have. Fear debt, very important. Fear credit accounts. Don't take out a lot of credit accounts. Pay your credit accounts. Pay your debtors. As a credit I'm a credit controller. I'm a collector. I'm one of those people that's like, hey, when you haven't paid, pay. So fear me. Fear people like me. Fear people like me because pay your accounts. Okay, cool. Thank you very much for watching this video, and I hope to see you on my next video. Goodbye.